This is technically part 2 of an online wellness gathering that I started last week. Last week, we focused on what is Reiki and how does it work? And I did a lot of talking. And by the end of the time together, what was clear was that it would be really nice to have another get together where we got to more so experience what Reiki is. So for those who were not on last week's call, we're just going to do a really brief overview of what Reiki is. And then from there today, I'm going to lead us in a guided meditation that's intended to help us begin to perhaps tap into or connect with the feeling of Reiki. Reiki can be a hard thing for our minds to kind of grasp because it's not something we can see. And there's no scientific evidence for it right now. So really the best way to know Reiki is to experience it. And now that we're in this day and age of not being together in person, I have been open to kind of the challenge or the opportunity of finding ways to experience Reiki when we're all at a distance, but also together. So that is what we'll be spending most of our time on today. I'll be guiding us into a meditation. There's no right or wrong way to do it. There's no right or wrong thing to feel in the meditation, but my intention is to support each of us in connecting with Reiki. After that, I thought it would be really nice to do a group activity to spread the essence of Reiki out into the world to those who may be in need of more love and light right now. And then we'll have time for questions. Sound good? You can give a thumbs up. If you have a question now, you can just raise your hand. Everybody good? Okay, awesome. So first things first, for those who are new to Reiki and maybe even new to the word, what is it? I've been thinking about it a lot recently, especially just with where we are and the limitations or the shifts or changes that have been created for us in this time. And it's helped me think about Reiki in a new way. So this is kind of a new way of saying it. So even if you've heard before, these are some new words. Reiki is a Japanese healing modality that supports us in connecting with the gentle power of unconditional love, light, and harmony, and their potential to affect and shift our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. So it really is a universal practice that can support anyone, no matter what it is that they might be going through, and without needing to know what it is that they need in terms of support. It's the essence of unconditional love, light, and harmony that we have the capacity to intentionally hold for ourselves, but also for others. And in this time, again, when there's so much that's uncertain around us, when there's so many challenging circumstances that we're facing, to have a tool in our toolbox that helps us more intentionally connect with feelings of unconditional love, with light, and with harmony is such a gift, because when we are full of those things, whatever may be meeting us from the outside, we have perhaps a certain strength with which to meet those circumstances, whatever they may be. And so Reiki is of value whether you're in the middle of a pandemic or moving through day-to-day life prior to this environment that we found us in now, and as we move forward from here. It's, again, that capacity to intentionally connect with light. And the word Reiki itself means universal life force energy. So when I think about what universal life force energy is, to me, it is that unlimited potential and presence for unconditional love, light, and harmony to be within us, and a mechanism by which we connect with other people, and a mechanism by which we present ourselves in the world. So I hope that's helpful. Again, as I said, it's hard for our minds to kind of grasp sometimes what Reiki is. It's much easier to experience it. And so that is the intention of this guided meditation now. So one other thing I'll share quickly, the definition I just offered, many of us already have experienced a deep and beautiful connection with unconditional love, with light, with harmony. That is a part of us already. And so it's not to discount any practices that you already have, or perhaps even faith that you already have. Those are all beautiful and valid tools. Reiki just happens to be another tool by which to access these this essence, or this unseen kind of power that is in our world all the time, and that we probably all tapped into in those moments where we feel profound peace within ourselves, or those moments where everything just feels right or perfect. Reiki gives us a way to do that more intentionally, so that it's no longer just by chance, or it's no longer because all of the ducks have aligned, or everything's perfectly aligned for it to be possible. We now are empowered to choose that unconditional love and that light and harmony to move through us, rather than waiting again for maybe external circumstances to be correct, for that to be an easy place for us to step into. So for what it's worth, I thought that might be helpful to share too. So we all have the capacity for this. We're all already doing it. Reiki is just a way to make it more intentional in our lives. All right. So again, here we're going to settle into the guided meditation. Everybody ready for that piece? Yeah. All right. And again, there will be time for questions. So if you do have questions based on what I just shared, I encourage you to write them down for now, so that you can let go of them kind of in your mind and have them on paper. And then we'll have time for that at the end here. So go ahead, and if you aren't already in a comfortable seat, I invite you to make any adjustments you need to find a comfortable place to sit. It can be helpful to have your back supported. And it can also be helpful to have a connection between the soles of your feet and the ground beneath them. So again, if that requires any adjustment, feel free to take the time you need to settle. And as you find that seat, I invite you to close the windows of your eyes if you have not done so already. As your eyes begin to close, just take a moment to notice any thoughts that might still be with you. There's nothing that you need to do, just simply acknowledge those thoughts. And then feel the muscles around your eyes begin to soften and relax. Feel your shoulders settle away from your ears, softening, perhaps even feeling your shoulder blades melting down your back. Notice the support behind you, perhaps at your low back or along the length of your spine. Notice the support beneath your seat. And feel the way your feet connect down to the ground beneath them. Begin then to turn your attention to your breath. There's nothing to change about your breath. Just the opportunity to become more intimately aware of your inhales and your exhales. Perhaps feeling the coolness of breath as it touches your nose and reaches the back of your throat, traveling down towards your belly. Perhaps feeling the warmth of that same breath as the exhale travels up through you, back out into the space around you. Continue to stay with your breath here. Perhaps sensing where it's traveling within your body, how it feels as it reaches those spaces and places. There might be some stickiness, some coolness, some feelings of softening or expansion. Check in with your body now and notice if there's any places where you might still be holding on to a bit of tension or tightness. And if so, can you give yourself permission to soften wherever that might be? It could be the space around your jaw, maybe even in your hips. Perhaps you notice your tongue pressing against the roof of your mouth. Just taking some time here to feel ourselves settle and quiet. And then begin to draw your awareness up to the crown of your head, the very top of your head. And in the practice of Reiki, this is where we envision the infinite, unconditional love and light connecting with our own being. So I invite you here to begin to imagine in whatever way feels correct for you, whether it's a visual or a feeling or a sense. Imagine beautiful, pure light and love beginning to fill you from the crown of your head. Take a moment just to be here with the crown of our head, beginning to tap into that feeling of light and love as it meets us here. And as you begin to feel your own connection with light and love at the crown of your head, feel that light begin to descend down your body, through your head, reaching your throat. Feel your throat begin to fill with the light, perhaps a sense of love. And then follow that stream down the center line of your body. Feel the light and love arrive in your chest, beginning to fill that space. And from your chest, feel that stream continue down to your upper belly, filling the upper belly with light. It's pure and bright and soft. Feel that stream continue now down to your lower belly, pausing there for a moment as you give time for the light and love to begin to fill your low belly. From your low belly, travel out to your hips, pausing here at your hips again, feeling the space in your hips fill with light and fill with love. And then imagine that light and love traveling down your thighs to your knees, from your knees along your shins to your ankles, arriving at the soles of your feet. Imagine from the soles of your feet growing roots anchoring you into the earth. Those roots are also filled with light and love. Those roots offer us a sense of feeling secure, anchored, and safe right where we are. From your roots, follow the light back up your ankles, along your shins to your knees. Continue to track the light along your thighs to your hips. From your hips to your low belly, letting the light gather in that space. From your low belly, rise to your upper belly, and then we'll return back to our chest, pausing here. We consider the chest our heart center. This is our sacred heart space. So imagine as if your heart exists there at the very center of your chest. Just pause there, feeling the light and the love filling your heart. Let go of any effort, just allow the light and love to do the work. There's nothing for you to do, you're simply with its presence. Just feel it gather there, growing, shining, perhaps offering a sense of comfort and peace. Maybe noticing a certain stillness. And from your heart center, the light that's growing and gathering there, imagine that light and love now traveling out to your shoulders. As the light reaches that space, continue to draw it down your upper arms to your elbows, from your elbows along your forearms to your wrists. And imagine that light and love arriving at the palms of your hands. And here I invite you to draw your two palms together, either resting in your lap or in front of your heart center. Just continue to feel that light and love streaming from your heart down your arms, beginning to pool at the palms of your hands in that place where they meet. Anytime your mind tries to figure out what might be happening, just notice, acknowledge, and just allow yourself to be present here with the palms of your hands, allowing the light and the love to be what it is. You may be beginning to notice a warmth where your hands meet. You may be beginning to notice a tingling, or again, there might just be a quietness, a steadiness. There's no right or wrong. As you feel ready to do so, I invite you to take the palms of your hands and now rest them on your heart center, the center of your chest. You can layer one hand on top of the other or place one hand above the other so each palm connects with your body beneath it. It's up to you. And as our hands connect back down with our body, I invite you to come back to an image of light and love descending down from the crown of your head, traveling to your heart. From your heart, feel the light and love reach out to your shoulders, down the lengths of your arms, traveling to the palms of your hands. It's a beautiful offering of universal life force energy, universal unconditional love and harmony. It's traveling through you as an offering to your own heart, to your own well-being. There's nothing for you to do here. You're simply allowing that flow to move through you as you give yourself permission to receive whatever it is that you might be sensing. We'll begin now to come back to our breath. Just noticing our breath as it travels through our body. Perhaps reconnecting with the coolness of each inhale, the warmth of each exhale. And as you're ready, I invite you to take 3 cleansing rounds of breath in through your nose, releasing each exhale then slowly out through your mouth. Taking the time that you need to move through those 3 breaths. And after your cleansing rounds of breath, open the windows of your eyes as you feel ready to do so. Beautiful. Thank you all for joining me in that. We're going to take a moment just to feel it settle. Perhaps take a moment to notice how you're feeling here. You might have words for it, but it might just be a sense. Notice what, if anything, might have shifted for you from before the meditation to this moment in time. And again, there might not be a word, and allow that to be okay. It might just be more of a sense. We're going to take that experience and whatever it may have felt like for you. And we are going to go a little over time today for those who are able to stay with me. If you have to depart, I'm very glad that you were able to join for the guided meditation. Know that this is recorded. So anything that you're not able to be live on right now, you'll have access to later. But we will go over, because I do feel that it's important for us also to experience how Reiki can support not only ourselves, which is what we just engaged in. It was self Reiki, so sending that love and light back into our own heart and into our own being. But now we're going to experience what it feels like to begin to maybe sense energy and also send it out into the world to those who we feel may need it most right now. That love, that light, and that extra kind of support and uplift right now. So as we transition into this next part, you're welcome to stay in that kind of meditative place or state, whatever you might be feeling. And we're going to continue to stay with that image too of light and love, so Reiki, traveling down from the crown of our head to our heart, and from our heart out our arms and through our hands. And we're going to do a little experiment now. And some of you might be familiar with energy work already, and this might be a practice that you have done before. But we're going to take the palms of our hands and we're going to imagine that we're cradling a ball. So there is no ball actually there. We're just imagining it to be so. And with the ball in our hands here, I invite you to begin to imagine light beginning to fill the space between your hands. And maybe you even imagine that light descending down from the crown of your head to your heart, from your heart out your arms and through the palms of your hands. It's this constant flow and this filling of space between your hands. You can keep your eyes open or closed, whatever feels best to you. We're just going to take a minute to start imagining feeling that ball in between our hands. And then as you're ready, very slowly start to, as slowly as you can, draw your palms towards one another without allowing them to touch. And just notice what you sense in the feeling of your hands. At any point, you can pause in your new location. Maybe that ball has gotten a bit smaller in size. At any point in time, you can begin to draw your palms away from one another, moving slowly. The more slowly we move, the more we may be able to sense or feel something in our palms. So for me, it feels almost like a magnet. Two positive sides of a magnet that are kind of pressing against each other. You might be noticing something similar. Again, it might be temperature that you're feeling or tingling. Maybe it's just a knowing or a sense that something's there that you cannot see. Continue to practice this for just another moment or two. And this is energy. Again, this is that knowing that goes beyond perhaps what our mind can comprehend and that our eyes can see, but there's a sense that there's something there. And this is the space of energy work. And this is the level on which Reiki works with our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies. It's also a way in which we can move past time and space. And so here in your imaginary ball that you're cradling, I invite you to begin to picture or call to mind. It can be either a person or a population at whole. Today's invitation is to focus on a person or the entirety of the frontline workers that are supporting us as we face this pandemic, as we face this struggle with our virus. Imagine that person or those people as if you're cradling them in between the palms of your hands. And then imagine once again beautiful, pure love and light descending from the crown of your head to your heart, from your heart along the lengths of your arms, and feeling that light travel from the palms of your hands to fill the space between them. There's nothing more for you to do. You're simply allowing that flow of light and love to fill the space between your hands as an offering to the person or the people that you're cradling in that space. There's no way to do this wrong. Just trust. Perhaps you feel that light beginning to expand or grow. Perhaps you're sensing a feeling in your hands. Maybe there's a feeling washing over your body as you make this offering. Just allow whatever is to be. Trust in it. Take one more deep round of breath right where you are. And as you're ready, very slowly, begin to draw your hands back to one another so the palms meet together. In prayer position or in Anjali Mudra if you're a practicing yogi. And with our hands palm to palm, on behalf of all of us, I just thank the universal life force for flowing through us and allowing us to channel its harmony and healing energy, trusting that it will continue to serve those for their greatest and highest good, whatever that may be. In closing, at the end of an offering such as that in Reiki, we'd open the palms of our hands like a book and then blow on your hands like you're blowing off the little seeds of a daffodil. Or a dandelion, sorry, I got that wrong. Just to release the offering out into the world. And that, my friends, is a little demonstration of how we can share Reiki with others, even when we're not with them in person. If you already have a faith tradition that you're connected to, it might feel similar to that in terms of prayer. But it is a way to intentionally guide love and light and harmony to those that we feel called to share it with, even when we can't be with them in the same place. And so it's a beautiful gift to be sharing right now as our world is facing a lot of fear and uncertainty. The more light, the more love, the more peace that we can offer will support us in being able to navigate whatever circumstances we face from a place of more calm and ease. So there you go, two experiential examples of Reiki. For those who were with me last week, I hope this helped take what we talked about and make it feel more practical. And for those who are joining for the first time, I hope this was a nice little taste of what Reiki is. And I'd like to open it up now for those who still, again, have time, if you'd like to ask any questions.